Break it down. So the last time we talked, you were possibly looking at another start that week, and then the rug gets pulled from underneath you. So break it down.
Take it away.
What do you got?
So this honestly came as a surprise to me because in my time in Mississippi, there was a lot of talk about asses in the seats, right? Like in the FPHL, we run off jersey sales and asses in the seats. That's what pays my salary. That's what pays for everything, for the bus, for you name it. Asses in the seats is what we care about. And we talked about putting on a good on-ice product. That's some of the lingo that we use in the locker room. The on-ice product is good. People will come. People will pay. And so we had this meeting actually on Monday after practice, just talking about asses in the seats, getting people to come to the rink.
Well, they always say the most expensive seat in the house is the empty one.
It's true because you're not making money on it.
Right.
And I get off the ice, get showered, and then I get called out of the room, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, what have I said in the podcast last week that's going to get me in trouble?
Is that what you're thinking? Are you thinking, hey, maybe they're going to tell me when I'm going to start next?
There was that, but I honestly thought I was probably going to start in the Wednesday game because it was against a weaker team. Shep had just played back-to-back games and really got I don't want to use the word worked, but Shep Shep was exhausted. I mean, he had back-to-back 110 shots between two games. Like the guy was tired. Give him a break. So I thought I'd be getting that start probably. I usually think when I get called out like into a meeting, it's usually for the podcast because if we're talking about asses in the seats, I'm the last guy you're going to release or cut.
Right.
And so I'm like, what did I say on the podcast last week? Them draining my bank account, would that maybe get me in trouble? Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that.
The Visa gift cards?
Oh, the checks I had to cash. Oh, should I have said that? Oh, yeah, I'm trying to think in my mind. I'm like, what have I said and what do I have to take ownership for? And it was just, hey man, like, I'm sorry. You got to go. We're releasing you today. And I was kind of like, what? We just talked about putting asses in the seats. You know what I mean? And I guess essentially it's a numbers game because we had Liam Murray, who was on call up to the Huntsville Havoc. He had just come back down. And even though he physically wasn't in the locker room, roster-wise, he has to take a spot. And then we just had Blake Wyrick, who just came back from pec and bicep surgery, and he was ready to go to start. So two guys coming in. Somebody had to go, although Liam actually just got traded today, or it might have been yesterday, from the Seawolves to Danbury. So now they're back down to two goalies. But it was, hey, man, it's a numbers game. We're going to be releasing you. We're really sorry. And I've obviously asked for some constructive feedback because I'm a professional. And as a professional, I want to know, like, what can I do better? And you're not going to hurt my feelings. I want to know, what did I do wrong on the ice? What did I do wrong as a professional? What did I do wrong as a teammate and as a man? Please tell me. And to be honest, there really wasn't anything negative feedback-wise. I was told it was just a numbers game. And for those that are curious, Joe and I were on the exact same page about the Whitfield game. It's unfortunate that the game unfolded the way that it did and that defensively we did not show up. We got 61 shots. Mm-hmm. It sucks, but somebody has to wear it, and Shep is our starting goalie. And as me being the new guy who is the backup goalie, unfortunately, that is my job to wear that and wear it all 8 goals and take that beating if the team hasn't shown up. And that's my job. I take full ownership of that. We talked about it. I think Joe faulted me for 1 goal. The rest was on the team. I fault myself for 2. I think the rest are finding ways to make saves. But as far as the rest go, everything else was positive. As far as feedback goes, the team was nice enough to let me live in the team housing for the next week and kind of just figure out what I was going to do in my life. It was interesting because I'd never been released before. Right? Like we've gone through all this type of stuff. You know, Columbus, Motor City, Watertown, 45 minutes.
Well, you checked all the boxes. Like, how can I get to another team? Traded, expansion draft. Yeah, you literally went through all the possible ways that you could get onto a different team.
I haven't signed a celebrity contract. That's an actual thing too.
I've heard of those. Who actually just did that recently? Signed on for a 1-day deal.
I'm looking for more than a 1-day deal, by the way. Anybody who's watching, ideally.
That'd be the celebrity one. Oh, it was Mr. Beast. He signed with the, what team? Oh, yeah, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for 1 day. Celebrity contract.
Wow. Yeah. I need one of those. But, yeah, I was very confused. I didn't think I'd be getting released anytime soon. I thought Joe Pace and I'd be like the perfect marketing tandem to bring a lot of people to the Seawolves games, to bring a lot. I mean, just like the amount of kids that were bringing signs like with my name on it in Mississippi, and I only dressed for 1 home game, was awesome. I mean, there was one message I got. There was this little boy. He was like 10 years old. And he came to the game. He brought a sign, Trav, I love you, which is awesome. I was trying to throw him pucks after, like during warm-ups. Actually, this is kind of embarrassing. He's in the glass, and he's like, you can tell like he wants a puck. So I'm taking the puck. I'm trying to throw it. I missed. I hit the glass about 3 times, and I'm throwing it. It was like almost like Peter in Family Guy when he's trying to scoop the frog up with a box against the wall, like 30. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I can find that on YouTube and put that on the video version of the show. But I finally get him the puck, and we get a picture after the game. Really nice kid. His dad was like, thank you for being a good mentor to him. He's so passionate about hockey. And I get a message, a day or two after, because the release goes live on the Fed website, and he's like, dude, like my son's in tears. Like my son, like he just wants to like see you play. And I'm like this is why I love playing the game, to like change a kid's life like that, to change, like just to bring so much emotion to like a kid to be so affected by this is like, I don't know, it just makes my heart kind of melt. You know what I mean? Like for those types of kids. So stuff like that sucks. It's unfortunate.
From the 10-year-olds who are going to miss you at the side of the rink to the 40-year-olds who want to give you a kiss outside the rink after. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in between there that I think are feeling that same way, regardless of what the emotions are. I'm curious to know, because listen, all it takes is one injury. All it takes is one guy who blows out his knee, or needs hip surgery, or has a bone spur or something. And as we know, there's a lot of goaltending positions out there in the vast array of all the leagues that we have in this world. I don't think it's going to take too long. I think you're literally one phone call away from jumping on a plane somewhere.
If we're being honest, first team that calls that is serious and wants me to come down, I'm coming down. That's it. So it's as simple as that. As far as leaving goes, so I got the rental car. I packed everything up in a very tight packed Jeep Grand Cherokee. Again, we'll put some video on the video version.
That's not bad. That's a good ride.
It was a good rental. And I will say the Mississippi Seawolves did cut me a nice check for $1,000 to cover my rental car and my gas from Watertown to Wytheville, and then from Biloxi back down to Winnipeg. And again, I'm very, very thankful and appreciative for that. So to the team, thank you very much, because that's the first time I've been promised money by a team and they've actually followed through on it.
There you go.
When they promised it originally, I was like, yeah, I've heard this before. Yeah, 3 biggest lies in pro hockey. The check's in the mail. You're only going down for 2 weeks.
Don't say the third one.
And the third we can't put live on the podcast. That's
don't say the third one. But it has something else to do with going down.
But they're the biggest lies in pro hockey. So the fact that the check did cash or clear, it's on hold because it was a U.S. check, but I did cash it, and they gave me the money for it. It was awesome. So that covered for the rental cars. So I drove 15 hours from Biloxi into St. Louis. Now, my mom hates that I did this, but I slept in the rental car that night. The hotels were going to be expensive no matter where I went. They're probably going to be like $250-ish. And I figured I'm tight on cash because the check's only going to cover the rental car. I'm trying to be very cognizant because the next little bit, again, I know we talked about this off the show, squirreling away money whenever you can. I don't know when my next game is. I don't know when my next contract, when my next check payment-wise is going to come. I don't know what's going to happen with the vlog or the podcast moving forward. I like to think I know, but you never truly know. So I just start squirreling away money whenever I can. So I'm going to sleep in the car tonight. The team paid for the rental car. I might as well use it as a hotel.
Okay, I don't think there's anything wrong with sleeping in a car. I think we've all done that at one point in our lives. But where did you park it?
Walmart parking lot. And I'll tell you this. So I set up shop in the back because the Cherokee was pretty big. So I stacked everything up and on the passenger side seat. And I couldn't fall asleep. And then I ended up sitting on the fob around 2 a.m. and the car alarm starts going off.
Oh, no.
In the apartment. So I'm out in my underwear and my socks in the freezing St. Louis cold. And then I figured to myself, I'm like, why don't I just put the seats down on the other way and lay in the driver's seat and lay it flat? And I passed out right away. I slept for like 3 hours and I was back on the road.
More hockey content. It might be old, it might be new, it might be a full episode, it might be a half episode, but you can click these boxes because who doesn't like clicking boxes?